What's happening? Everybody, welcome to another awesome episode of Keys to the Jet podcast. I'm your host, Red, and I'm here to talk to you about some cool stuff today. I think it's cool stuff. I just hit my 20-year mark of joining the Air Force. Yes, I'm old. Along with everyone else, you're all old. At least those of you that know me and know us here on Keys to the Jet. You're old. We're all old. We wore BDUs. Some of you even before that. All right. Yeah. Excuse me. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. I was recording before. Excuse me, but then I started coughing a lot. Because I got sick like a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago, and it just I don't know, I'm coughing still, and it sucks. So I took some cough suppressant shit that'll hopefully kick in here. And I got some water, but if not, you have some cool post almost sickness done ASMR that you can say, wow, this guy's rude and shouldn't be coughing in our ears. But when a cough fit does come on, I will try to mute my mic and go from there, Yeah. Anyways. So, before I get into the topic of today's episode, I just wanted to, since it's my 20 year, wanted to go through, give you some of my highlights and give you some of my, highlights and lowlights of me being in the big old blue Air Force. Yeah, I didn't do 20 years, but, I did my 6, and Big Blue and I didn't see eye to eye at first, but, been doing the janitor thing for a long time, so I never got away from it. Always mopping something, cleaning. That's what I do. It taught me how to clean very well. Not my own stuff, but it taught me how to clean other people's stuff very well. It made me lazy on cleaning my shit. First off, before we get into it, I would like to thank you for joining me. If this is your first time here at Keys to the Jet podcast, we are a podcast formed by prior service crew chiefs, aircraft mechanics, maintainers, whatever you want to call us, knuckle draggers. Well, except for Rhino, he worked on trash haulers. And we basically give you the ridiculous side of aviation, the fun side of aviation. We're not so serious talking about, talking about, serious stuff all the time. We are the lighter side of things. Welcome. If you think we're stupid, then we're halfway there and we got you. Anyways, if this is not your first time, you've been following us for a long time, thank you. I love you for that. And you're my favorite. Okay? Just want you to know that. You. Yeah, you. In the back. Right there. You. And our patrons, thank you. Patrons. Gregory. Mayor. Goodyear. Freaky Freeland, and fuck you, Cody. Thank you, guys. We love you to death. If you'd like to join and be a patron too, you can join for $5 a month. Sorry about that. Had a cough real quick. You can join for $5 a month. and help us become from a third world podcast to a first world podcast. In fact,
just $5 a month could help out a third world podcast become a first world podcast. For less than a cup of Starbies, you could make a gigantimous improvement. If you want to donate, then please go to the Keys to the Jet podcast Patreon at patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. That's patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. Again, go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. Patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast.
oh boy, patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Oh, anyway, okay. So here's what I was thinking. I joined, and so let's do some This Day in Aviation. I'll take you through some news. I'll do some of my highlights and lowlights of the Air Force. And then I'm thinking about doing some crew chief history. Basically, like, excuse me, where'd we come from? Excuse me. We didn't just appear. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, we didn't just appear, man. We had to get here somehow. You know, so I figured that's what I go through. We'll take the long way around. All right. This day in aviation. Hold on. Got this cough coming on, bro. All right, I caught it. I caught it in time. This day in aviation, 24th of August, 1961 at Edwards Air Force Base, California. Jacqueline Cochran flew a Northrop T-38 to an average speed of 1,358 kilometers per hour, or 844.2 miles per hour over a straight 15 to 25 kilometer course, setting a world speed record for women. Pretty freaking cool. Man. Excuse me. I had to stop real quick. I apologize. I had a coughing fit coming on, and I didn't want to cough in your ears. Yeah, let's see. Fuck all that new shit. Let's just get into some highlights and stuff from me being in the Air Force. So, what? I joined March 23rd, 2005. That shit was awesome. I remember like getting ready for the Air Force. I was a fat fuck. Sorry if I'm breathing heavy today, man. I'm having problems here. I don't know what's going on with me. So, anyways, I was a fat fuck before going in. The recruiter was like, "Hey, dude, you got to lose some weight." So I went from 240 down to like 185, 180. It was fucking took me a rush. It kicked my ass, dude, trying to get down to that. Like, I remember there were times where I starved myself. There were times where I put on a fucking trash bag and sweats and go run out in the middle of the fucking desert when it was like 100 something degrees. You know, fucking 18, 19-year-old kid, who thought he had the biggest balls of them all, fucking just going out there and, because that was my one goal, is to get to the Air Force. So that's what I had to do. And that's what I did. Let's see. Yeah, so I joined, and I remember like hanging out with my friends fucking days before, drinking, just getting fucked up a lot, cutting my hair. My hair was pretty long. I went to MEPS multiple times, dude, because I was overweight. It was cool. We got in trouble there a few times, being a kid. Got in trouble at MEPS a few times. That was fun. Let's see. So went in. I remember going to. I think it was like a Tuesday. A Tuesday. Parents driving me to Lake Havasu City, where I flew out to Phoenix, and I was at MEPS. Did the oath, and then I remember flying out from Phoenix to San Antonio, getting off the plane, walking down the hall, and it got ran at. Suddenly it was fun, but it didn't get real up until like it hit the hallway at the airport, where you're going to the Air Force and you fucking hit people with uniforms that are screaming at people in the hallway, telling you to get your bitch ass on this bus. They're fucking yelling at you to get on this bus, and you're like, hey man, this is what I signed up for. Cool. We've all been through it. We all went there. Then we get to Lackland, pull up to this fucking building. I remember coming in, looking at, the fucking airplanes on sticks and shit like that. Like, holy fuck, what did I get myself into, Michael? Red. And then we end up at the squadron. I was a 324th. I still remember the thing when they were like, Knights. And they were like, we're hard, tough, ruthless, nights, rough, raw, ready to fight, hit the floor, hardly core, represent 324. Who Knights, who Knights, who Knights. Yeah, that was back then. Don't know what they do now. That was 20 years ago. I can't freaking believe it. Anyways, I made the mistake of wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt instead of just nothing. I made the mistake of wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt. And so when I didn't move correctly or whatever correctly, or didn't say something correctly, it was like, not in my Air Force Iron Maiden. Someone fucking, remember that? I think it was a big black TI just got in my face. It was like, not in my Air Force Iron Maiden. Ah! We got there at night, so it wasn't like early in the morning or anything. And the funny thing was, like, we got there, you go into this office. Hold on. Got there, I remember going in this office, fucking, they giving you the box nasty. Or like a tray nasty, I think it was. It was like a box. I don't know. It was food, I guess. Gave you some food, then fucking processed you through, and I remember them asking, like, "Oh, who fucking plays an instrument?" I was gonna say I played an instrument, and I was gonna raise my hand, but I didn't because people told me before I went in there, whatever you do, don't volunteer. Fly low under the radar. Now, did I do that throughout basic training? No, I didn't fly low under the radar because I'm a dum-dum. I got called to the snake pit many times. They said, "Hey, man." TI would be like, "Hey, I've heard you have impressions of your flight mates. Um, the only way you're not going to get on your face right now and push the world down is if you make these other TIs laugh." And they did it away from other trainees, right? Because they called me over to the table exclusively, like specifically, not exclusively, but specifically. He called me over and he'd be like, "Trainee, I hear you have some freaking," and this dude was Texan to the bone, like short Texan dude, like, and he's like, "I hear you have some impressions of your flight mates. Y'all, you better make these TIs laugh or you'll be on your face pushing." And like, all right, so I don't remember the impressions now, but obviously, whatever they were, they made them laugh because I did not do any push-ups that day. Let's see. Yeah, went to my first duty station at Tyndall, and that shit was fun. Man, those are the best people I've ever worked with out there at Tyndall. I love every single one of them. Some are annoying, but they also probably thought I was fucking annoying too. But like I said, I love every single one of them. They're the best of friends, whether they thought we were or not. Best friends I've ever had in my life. There are a few outside of the military that, that I have as best friends, but my military friends who I have known for 20 plus years, known for 20 years, they're the very best you could ask for. Why? Because we were all there to do the same thing, right? So we had the trauma bond. We were there to fucking cruise some jets, kick some tires, light some fires, send the shit out, right? Yeah. So again, some of my highlights: partying with my friends, partying at my houses, partying in my dorms, just man, it was so much fun drinking. TDYs, just having fun on the flight line. I mean, and like I said, for the most part, everybody was fucking cool. I don't miss the political part of being in the Air Force of like, "Oh, your PT test and blah, blah, blah," right? Your uniform's got to be clean. Why? I'm a fucking maintainer, dude. Have you seen the airplane that I work on? That thing is a leaky fucking pig. I work on swing shift. I do maintenance. I don't launch and lounge. I'm in fucking hydro, fuel, oil every day. Get off my motherfucking back. Excuse me again, still. Let's see. Highlights. Man. There's so many fun times, so many fun things, so much. I would try to go and have as much fun as I could at work, even though it was shit sometimes, which carried over to people and they had fun too. I hope my attitude carried over and they had fun. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're all there. We're all trauma bonded. We're all doing what we're supposed to. It's like, why not have a good fucking time? Why not have a good freaking time? Pardon me, my cameras have been going off, so I'm checking them because people are crazy. Anyways, some low times in the Air Force is PT test shit. Yeah, I was fat, bro. I lost all. Okay, so here's what happened: is number one, I lost all my weight in an unhealthy way to get into the Air Force, and then not taking care of myself afterwards. Right after I got in, and was like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. But as a kid, I didn't realize that what I did prior to get rid of all this weight, it's gonna come back with a vengeance. And it did. It fucking came back with a vengeance. Bro, I've been on a fucking weight roller coaster for forever. Since I was a kid. And I don't blame anybody else. It was all me, right? So I failed PT tests, and as soon as you start failing PT tests, your perception on the flight line, whether your peers see it or not, none of them will admit it. The value perception, your valued, or the perception of your value starts going down. The like a PT test or failing PT translates onto the flight line as you being a shitbag. Even though, like, you could fucking be the best maintainer out there. You fail a PT test, bro. Everybody out there, whether it's your best friend or not, and they won't admit it. They won't fucking tell you. They'll be like, no, dude, it was fucking cool. Never thought that. They're also the guys who are fucking sitting behind your back talking the shit. But let's be real. We're all friends. We're all there. We're all supposed to be brothers. I love working with them. I love hanging out with them, but they are the biggest shit talkers. We all are. Let's be real. Crew chiefs, veterans, military are not only the first ones to talk shit to your face, but they're also the first ones to talk shit behind your face. And a lot of the times we'll smile right at you and be like, nah, man, I didn't say shit, dude. Or be like, well, no, it's taken out of context. That's not what I meant. Or, and like I said, they'll talk shit straight to your face, which is great. I'd rather have you talk shit to my face than me hear about it never, right? Because a lot of the times, maybe they're doing it. A lot of the times, being shit talked to your face is motivation to be better. Oh, it just zoomed in on me. Oh. How do I get that out? No. It just zoomed in on me. How do I do that? Oh, shit. This new camera that I got, it just zoomed in on my face. And it's freaking me out, man. This thing is not going on video. Anyways, like I said, your value as soon as, let's see, I'm going to do this here. This here. Your value. Oh, oh. Okay, it's not fixing itself. Fuck me running. Your value goes down on the flight line as soon as you make one fucking mistake. One. And it's like they say, you fucking do your shit right and do shit fucking great, and nobody bats an eye. You fuck up one time, dude. You're done. Yeah, everybody will remember it forever. And like I said, crew chiefs will talk shit like a lot. And nobody was perfect out there. Everybody had fuck ups, but everybody talks shit. Having to do 3 PT tests 3 days in a row because your leadership didn't trust you because they said a man your size couldn't run an 11-minute mile and a half. So they brought you and the PTL in to the first shirt's office multiple times and read you your rights and thought that you were cheating. That's the nature of the flight line. That's just the nature of the Air Force. The people, there are so many assumptions out there made by people in leadership positions that don't belong in leadership positions that fucking I mean it's a lot of people in those leadership positions, especially when I was in, were dumb fucks, dumb motherfuckers, and I would tell you to your face. Especially this first shirt that we had, fucking Ham. He was the worst fucking dude in the fucking world. He thought he was God's gift to fucking the Air Force, and he was saving the Air Force. But no, he was just burning airmen to fucking get his chief stripe. He was just burning airmen to get his fucking diamond, to keep his diamond. And there were people along those lines that made the Air Force just awful. Him, a flight chief of mine, who was a fucking expediter, became a flight chief. Everybody else liked him, but he's the worst fucking dude in the world. And if I saw him today, we would have words. Everybody else loved him, but everybody else was in the good old boy club with him too. Fucking Cookie, that fucking faggot. Fucking faggot. And if you hear this shit, fuck you. Bitch. Who else? Yeah. I would say that's sort of my lowest time was with PT test stuff. But again, it was all my fault. I did that shit. But it was the best decision I've ever fucking made. Was joining the Air Force. Best decision I've ever made. Been cool. It's motivated my daughter. She's an ROTC. And, and she wants to freaking go in and do something, man. Be something bigger than herself which is what I wanted to do. Fix airplanes. Be a part of something bigger than myself. Do my duty to my country. And yeah, I'm glad I joined. That's about it, man. That's all I got. Hopefully, again, I hope you guys didn't take offense to me saying that crew chiefs eat their own and talk shit, because let's be real. We all do. We've all done it. You've done it. You can't say you haven't because you have. I have. I'll admit it. The worst time though was when um, worst though. Yeah, actually, that's outside the Air Force. But yeah, that's that's in a nutshell. Just kind of crewed some jets and met some people, drank some beers, and had a good old time. And I'm glad I got out when I did, and glad I went in when I did. And I don't know that I could have done 20 years. I know that I did get orders to Aviano twice, which were stolen from me, which is crazy. The one time, like, you know, they were stolen from me. It's that whole crab in a bucket mind state of mind. Well, he got it. Why can't I? He doesn't deserve that. Crab in a bucket. So they gave it to somebody else, which probably would have been, if I could have gotten out of that fucking place, it would have been a great thing. But anyways, yeah. Look, hey man, that was my highlights and lowlights. Again, the Air Force does cool stuff for people. It did some cool stuff for me. All right, I'm gonna take a break for a second. Take a break, get some water, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about submarine crew chiefs, how the crew chief history, how crew chiefs was made. Okay, and I'm gonna talk like this, just like this. I'm gonna say this is crew chief history. This is my take on crew chief history, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. I don't care. Go do your own goddamn podcast. I'm just kidding. Keep listening to mine, but I'm gonna give you my take on it. All right. Okay. Be back in a minute. All right, I'm back. Had to go do some stuff here. I really want to stand up and talk, but I really am bothered by this camera right now. It's following me and it's fucking me up, dude. I wish I had an adjustable desk. Okay. All right, can you hear me? Hello. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, wrench turners and safety wire twisters, welcome back to Keys to the Jet. I'm your host, Red. Okay. Let's get into this. You know what? I had a little script here. Now I know the pilots listening are already squirming in their seats like, oh, here we go, talking about crew chiefs. Another maintainer episode. But listen, without crew chiefs, you guys would just be sitting in an aluminum coffin, making airplane noises with your mouth. So sit back, let me school you on how the aircraft crew chief became to be. From the dawn of aviation all the way to today's caffeine addicted jet babysitting maniacs out on the ramp. We're going to talk about where the crew chief role started, how it changed through wars and technology, and why fighter crew chiefs are, well, better than trash haulers. Don't get mad at me. I don't make the rules, but we're better. Think about it. All right, so let's rewind the clock. Early 1900s. The Wright brothers are out at Kitty Hawk making a box kite with a lawnmower engine fly, right? Everybody knows about Orville and Wilbur, but very few people know about the third dude, Charles E. Taylor. He was a Wright brothers mechanic, built the first airplane engine, and kept their flying machine actually running. And if we're being honest, that dude is the first crew chief, the OG, the godfather of greasy hands, box nasties. Now, back then, there wasn't a job title called crew chief. You just had mechanics. Planes were wood, canvas, and wire. Engines leaked oil like a Harley, and if something broke, the solution was usually just to hit it with a hammer until it stopped rattling. But already the idea was forming that one guy is responsible for one bird. That mechanic took ownership. He wasn't just fixing planes, he was babysitting them. By the time World War I kicked off, militaries had figured out they needed maintainers permanently assigned to aircraft. Planes would land at muddy fields in France, patched together with duct tape, or whatever 1918 duct tape was. Probably just strips of old socks and a bad attitude. And the pilot would jump out and hand it to the chief. This poor bastard who had to somehow get it flying again tomorrow. No fancy tech orders, no integrated data systems, just a wrench, a cigarette, and a lot of praying. That was the birth of the crew dog, aka the crew chief. Now, after World War II, the Air Service, what would become the Army Air Corps, realized, hey, this crew chief thing actually works. Through the 1920s and 30s, as airplanes got bigger and engines got nastier, the idea solidified. You had one guy responsible for the whole bird. Now, is it true? I don't know. Again, this might take, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You let me know if I'm wrong. This is where the crew chief culture really started to form. Ownership, pride, the mentality of this is my motherfucking jet. If something's wrong, I'll be the one to say it's wrong. If it's right, my name's on it, bitch. Literally, because this is where the tradition of stenciling the crew chief's name under the cockpit started popping up. My jet, bitch. Picture it. 1930s, Army Air Corps airfields, planes line up, crew chiefs with grease-stained uniforms standing guard like pit bulls while some butterbar bitch lieutenant tries to climb in the cockpit. And the chief's like, sir, not today. This baby isn't ready. And the LT sulks away. That's when the power dynamic shifted. The jet belongs to the chief. The pilot just borrows it for a couple hours. Motherfucker. All right. Now, when we get into World War II, that's where crew chiefs went from just mechanics to flat out legends. The U.S. was cranking out airplanes like Skittles, B-17s, B-24s, Mustangs, Thunderbolts, you name it. You name it. Every one of those had a crew chief or a team of crew chiefs keeping them alive. And let me tell you, the conditions were brutal. These guys weren't chilling in climate-controlled hangars. They were in muddy, frozen fields in England or sweaty-ass jungles in the Pacific. Even sweaty-ass deserts in the Africa. Fighter crew chiefs, P-51s, P-47s, usually had just one bird. That jet was their baby. They'd sleep under the wing if they had to. ASMR. They knew every bolt, every quirk, every weird sound that engine made. Heavies crew chiefs or trash haulers on the bombers had bigger teams, more people, more specialties, engines, hydraulics, sheet metal, all hands on deck. Still, the crew chief was the guy holding it all together. ASMR. And the field repairs, absolute madness. This is madness. Madness? Crew chief. You had planes coming back with holes the size of Volkswagens in the fuselage. And the crew chief was expected to patch it up overnight so it could fly again. No supply chain, no Amazon Prime. You had to rip parts off a dead jet in the corner and slap it on yours. That's where the reputation of crew chiefs and miracle workers is born. Pilots literally owed their lives to the ground crew. And trust me, they knew it. That thumbs up from the crew chief before takeoff, that meant something. It meant, I've done everything humanly possible to make sure the jet brings you home. That's power. That's respect. That's the birth of the modern crew chief identity. I love it. I love it. Now, after World War II, the whole game changed. Enter the jet age. Suddenly, we're not dealing with prop engines anymore. We've got F-86 Sabres, B-47 Stratojets, and eventually the F-4 Phantom. Now, with jets came complexity. Everything was hotter, faster, louder, more likely to explode in new and creative ways. Crew chiefs had to level up their game. You couldn't just duct tape a Phantom back together, though. God knows people tried. You could safety wire them. They were built on safety wire, weren't they? During Korea, crew chiefs learning jet engines on the fly. They were learning jet engines on the fly, literally. By Vietnam, forget it. The ops tempo was insane. The F-4 Phantoms and Hueys were getting torn to shreds daily. B-52s had maintainers crawling all over them 24/7. This is also when the Air Force really started to formalize the title of crew chief. It became an official job with ranks, training, technical schools, and with that came the rivalry. Fighter crew chiefs versus heavy crew chiefs. Fighters had smaller aircraft, more one-on-one ownership. Heavies had massive airframes that needed entire villages maintained. Both were important, but you know damn well fighter crew chiefs started walking around with that cocky swagger. That's my jet, motherfucker. That's my name on that canopy rail. You're damn right. And you know we're better. Meanwhile, the heavies guys were like, yeah, well, I got 600,000 pounds of cargo to worry about. And the fighter crew chiefs left and said, cool story, bro. My jet just went Mach 2. The rivalry hasn't died, not even close, because just remember that man, this camera, dude, this camera that I got, it's freaking crazy. The fighter crew chiefs are always better than heavy's crew chiefs because y'all haul trash and we don't. So yeah. Okay. What else? Fast forward to the 1980s and 90s. The Air Force is rocking F-15s, F-16s, a stealth F-117, bombers like the B-1 C-5. Well, C-5 wasn't a bomber. Crew chiefs are now highly trained, tech school certified, climbing up through 3, 5, 7 levels. But even with all that training, one thing never changed: the pride. Well, no, you're right. In that era, the jet still has a name stenciled on the canopy. That's the crew chief's mark. That's ownership. Now, modern times brought new headaches: computers, diagnostics, inspections that take longer than actual repairs, paperwork, QA, the dreaded Red X culture, and of course, deployments. Nothing like pulling 12-hour shifts on a scorching desert ramp in Qatar or Kyrgyzstan while your pilot is chilling in air-conditioned mission planning, or crew rest. But through all that, the rivalry was still rages. Fighters versus heavies. Fighters are like sports cars, sleek, sexy, designed for speed and flash. Heavies, they're like semi-trucks. Important, sure, but nobody's hanging posters of KC-135 on their bedroom wall. Sorry. Well, sorry, guys, but you know it's true. Sorry, not sorry. And here's the thing. It's not just about the maintenance. It's about the culture. The crew chief is the last person the pilot sees before takeoff and the first person they see when they land. That salute, that thumbs up, that's tradition. That's family. All right. Crew chiefs are teachers too. Every LT who shows up thinking they're hot stuff gets schooled by a salty E4 on how not to break the landing gear or whatever else. We've all been there, trying to explain to a pilot why he can't just slam it down harder on landing without consequences. And the flight line itself, man, that is its own world. Pranks, long nights, laughter, bitching about QA, that weird bond where you're freezing at 3 a.m. together on the ramp and somehow you're still laughing. That's the crew chief life, and still being able to share a beer with your friends. Even if you're maintaining an airplane, you're still at each other's throats. You still end your shift, have some beers with your friends, regardless. Excuse me. And yes, the fighter versus heavies jokes will never end. Fighter crew chiefs say, I work on jets at dogfight and Mach speed. Heavy's crew chiefs say, yeah, well, my jet hauls trash or tanks and troops. And yeah, I mean, they're trash haulers. How many times do I have to say it? I've said it a lot. They're trash haulers, but we still love you guys. So, what's the takeaway here? From the Wright brothers mechanic to World War II miracle workers, from Phantom maintainers in Vietnam to today's F-35 crew chiefs. This job has always been the same at its core. Pride, ownership, sweat, and sacrifice. Pilots may get the credit. They may get the patches, the call signs, the cool flyovers, but none of that happens without us. Without us maintainers, us crew chiefs. We're the unsung backbone. The ones out there in the rain and the snow, in that 120-degree heat, making sure the mission doesn't stop. So, next time you see a crew chief or past crew chief, buy us a beer, man. Shake our hand. Tell us, hey, man, yeah, you're a badass. I mean, you might be an all-purpose gorilla, but you're a badass. And remember, get this in your head. Fighter crew chiefs are still better than Heavy's crew chiefs. Don't argue with me. You just know I'm right. Yep. All right, folks. This has been another episode of Keys of the Jet. I'm Red, your friendly hood neighbor, your friendly neighborhood grease monkey who gave you some ASMR today with me coughing, me talking about my time in the Air Force, me having a little bit of fun, talking shit about people, people shit talking about me. That's how it goes. I love you. If you think I'm wrong or if you want to talk some shit too, you're very welcome. Leave us a comment. Go subscribe, share with your friends. Check us out. Check us out wherever. Yeah. Now, y'all get out of here and go turn some wrenches. All right. Listen. If you want to be part of this community, you can go catch us on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, TikTok, X. Press the subscribe button, press the share button, press the like button, press the follow button, tell your friends. And if you want to help out, if you want to help our channel grow, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Keys of the Jet podcast. And for $5 a month, become a patron. Just like these guys. Check this out.
Just $5 a month could help out a third world podcast become a first world podcast. For less than a cup of Starbies, you could make a gigantimous improvement. If you want to donate, then please go to the Keys to the Jet podcast Patreon at patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. That's patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. Again, go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. My mic is back on. Listen. Man, I thought I had like a fake ad that I could do in here. Let me see. Let me see. I thought I had a fake ad that I could do. Nope. All right. Well, hey, listen, this has been my episode. Again, if you want to go catch us on all social medias, dude. Also, you can check out another. I have a second podcast. It's not link to here. It's not military, but it's called Gas Wheels, Motors, and Rotors. It's on every ASMR. It's on all podcasting, broadcasting, fucking places, and we're talking about cars and anything else that burns gas. Like the last episode I did on the Jeep Willys. The one before that I did on the Chevelle. Excuse me. So if you like that kind of shit, head on over there. Check us out. And I also have something else in the works. But again, thank you for joining us today. I love you. I love you if you're a patron, Gregory. Gregory, the man. Sorry, I had something going on there for a second. Gregory, the mayor. Goodyear. Fuck you, Cody and Freaky Freeland. I love you guys. And I love everyone else out there still hanging on and still hanging out and listening all over the world. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye. I'm leaving now. I think I'm leaving now. Am I leaving now? I am leaving right now. Okay, bye.